I hope you don't mind if I do something a little different. Instead of a structured video going over a specific cinematic subject, I feel like simply not shutting up about the current Oscar season, because it's been frying my brain for some time. So here's a barrage of random thoughts and opinions concerning what's going on in the nominated movies. Be warned, I'm gonna spoil close to everything. I won't talk about the nominated achievements in directing just yet. It will get its own video eventually. Sinners got 16 Oscar nominations! Do you know how I first got into movies? In 2007 I decided to watch every film that won Best Picture. Blink and you're watching a 9-hour Chinese documentary about trains. I miss Shakespearean love. What matters is, my first foray into cinema was led by how many Oscars a film won or was nominated for. And someone who does the same in the future is going to watch Wicked, nominated for 10 Oscars, winner of 2, then think, yeah, okay, I wonder how many the second one got. And it's 0! Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Lucky them, we'll have no reason to watch the second one. The same happened to Rocky 2, but that's not a direct continuation. But what I started to talk about was... someone's gonna ask, what's the most nominated film in Oscar history? And the answer is gonna be a vampire film. I love Sinners, but Titanic having a record number of Oscar nominations makes sense. And I used to be very happy with All About Eve, one of my top 10 films of all time. I'm top 10ing it now. A film about intelligent people exchanging clever dialogue in closed rooms, setting and holding a nomination record. No spectacle, just 5 nominated actors besides the craft. Titanic for spectacle, All About Eve for perfection. Then came La La Land. The industry really fell head over heels in love with that one, didn't it? Best costume design. The honest trailer said it better.
Best costume design? What the... they're just wearing clothes.
And best sound effects editing. I remember the Oscar clip played car horns. There were no effects to play.
La La Land. Eileen Lee and Mildred Ayatri Morgan.
I hated when they got rid of the sound effects editing category. I was the only one, I think. But seeing how many nominations films are getting year in, year out, I say, whew, at least there isn't that one. I still miss being able to say a film got Best Sound, Best Editing, and Best Sound Editing. I always felt like Ben Stiller in Dodgeball.
Allow me the pleasure of introducing you to Blade, Laser, Blazer.
Seriously, we've had 3 years in a row with films getting 13 nominations. There were decades when that didn't happen. Spread the love, you guys. But worse than having the Vampire Blues film as the Oscars' biggest nominee is the fact that we're getting Best Casting, next year we'll have Best Stunts. Films with that immense number of nominations are gonna become more common. That blank space of 15 will get filled and there will be other films with 16 in no time. Are we on our way to the Futurama Oscars?
400 categories and not a single nomination for me.
I hope not, I want high numbers to mean something. Think about how Gone with the Wind got 13 nominations without the categories of sound editing, casting, stunts, or even costumes. If my grandma were a bicycle, Gone with the Wind would have had 17 nominations. I got sidetracked. Sinners. I liked it. I liked it in cinemas, I liked it even better at home. It has this rare thing you don't often see in Oscar films. It's exhilarating. Thanks in great, enormous part to the music, you come out of it on a high. You hear Last Time I Sing the Sun and go, hell yeah, give that barn an Oscar. It has what they would call important themes, and it gives an adrenaline rush, so of course people got carried away there. Great movie, I still hate that shot. And the final battle, isn't it a little not good? The vampires attack a bunch of randos it turns out were in the barn all this while, but we never saw or heard from them. Jordan and Musako have this long, all pandemonium considered, dramatic interlude, and Vampire Jordan pulls Vampire Steinfeld away like Van Helsing is about to pop in or something.
No, let's go! Let's go, come on!
What's up? Why would they pull back? Then Delroy Lindo pulls off a useless sacrifice for the ages.
I don't want some of this.
He's indulging a kink. He can't believe he's helping anyone. Throw a table down the stairs and you stall those vampires just as much. And then we get to the talky villain holding his prey, and you want me to believe that Michael B. Jordan snuck through this whole army of vampires and waded through water to stick a stick without a single one of the hive mind monsters seeing him and informing Jack O'Connell? Cause I made a whole video about the magic bullshit you can get away with by being off screen, and I still like that kind of thing. That shot I wish was as good as people say. You know what's the big problem with it? Much bigger than it being loose and uncoordinated. It's that it illustrates this important subject of the movie. Illustrates. It doesn't dramatize. Nobody interacts with these spirits of the past and the future. As far as we know, they don't even see them. The cliché is show, don't tell. It should be dramatize, don't illustrate. Not nearly as catchy, I'll work on it. They should have made Sammy defeat the head vampire with his music somehow. Maybe it can bring good spirits to save him and beat evil or something. Sounds risky, but I prefer it to yet another last second save. And wouldn't you know it, the sun conveniently came up. There was no reference before to how close we were to the sunrise. It's less than 10 minutes between the Chinese lady, who has a badass death, stupidly invites them in, and the sunrise. So they wouldn't even have the time to get her daughter. These vampires suck at time management. Still love the film. Extremely fun, well acted, gorgeous cinematography, most of the time. Have you thought about how if it wins 5 Oscars, it's still gonna join the list of biggest losers with 11 losses? Suffering from success. I'd say right now that Sinners is my favorite of the Best Picture nominees. But to be completely sure, I still need to give Marty Supreme a second viewing. I love that one too, I'm just disappointed with how low stakes it was, even with a couple near-death encounters. I can't help comparing it to Uncut Gems, and how the earlier film had a panic attack-inducing progression to a cathartic ending, while Marty kinda just stops. He has a baby to take care of, so he learns not to be narcissistic anymore? I'm not satisfied. 2.5 hours of propulsion seem to be leading us to a bang, not a whimper. And what's up with people saying Marty is unlikable? You know what's an unlikable character? A boring one. I couldn't like this madman more. And whose idea was it to cast Mr. Wonderful? Cause it was the best idea anyone's ever had. The way he says I was born in 1601, I'm a vampire, was the best line and delivery of the year. Nowadays we simply don't get colorful dialogue like this anymore. Audiences are so unaccustomed to metaphorical language, I saw many people online asking if he was a real vampire. Bring back metaphors, writers! You can literally do anything! And this is another film with a bombastic blood level raising score. When Marty gets out of Mr. Wonderful's jet to lose a ping pong match, and the music makes it sound like Scipio's just won the Battle of Zama. Hell yes, that's how you use movie music! I rewatched one battle after another, and I liked it way better this time. Though it's still far from being what people are raising it to be. They're very much projecting current headlines into this film and praising it as the new evangel. If there's one thing the film community should be wary of, it's the impulsive canonization of something timely. The canon is for films that are universal and eternal, and overpraising a film about the here and now because of its timeliness is extremely short-sighted. A decade from now, people will wake up hungover and think, damn, I slept with that movie, what was I thinking? It's a chase film. A good chase film, but not a 13 nomination giant. It straight up rubs the Battle of Algiers in our faces, a film that actually has a great, well-written, respectable antagonist, instead of a one-note action figure. By the way, what are you guys seeing in Benicio del Toro? He adds some fun contrast, but he's doing nothing. And he got in everywhere, the hell? Something that was way better when I rewatched the film at home, the cinematography. My TV's image is much better than any cinema where I live, and I'm not boasting at all. The current quality of an average movie house is below that of an average television. Theater screens are blurry and dark. People who live next to top-tier, well-operated cinemas have no idea how great they have it. Which reminds me of something I fully came to terms with when the Warner Brothers sale was first announced. Movie theaters are going the way of the dodo. Within this century, there will be no more cinemas. Your grandkids will say, "What? You used to leave home to watch a Netflix? Skibbity." Of course, I don't want it, but it's coming. Those that survive by 2100 will be museum pieces. Sad. About bad picture quality, another film I hope gets better at home is Hamnet. That attic bedroom was way too dark. I hated that movie. It was so tedious. Of course it's well acted, but when the major argument in defense of a movie is it makes one feel feelings, there's no leg to stand on. Might as well sell soap operas and Hallmark movies. People feel feelings with those too. It's the third time Spielberg got nominated for Best Picture for a film he didn't direct, after Letters from Iwo Jima and Maestro. 1 out of 3. Are we ever getting that Napoleon miniseries? I keep telling myself it's too good to be true. Hamnet is still not half as bad as The Secret Agent. You guys have got to be gaslighting me about that one. It is the, no exaggeration here, the most anticlimactic film I have ever seen. All the way from the very title, which is a lie, a bona fide honest-to-goodness lie, down to every single useless character and plot point. Nothing goes anywhere. Characters are useless, mysteries are ignored, it keeps hinting at developments that never come. I've never seen a movie make so many promises it didn't deliver.
Tá policial?
Eu não, sou policial.
Ó, pinta de policial, cara.
He's not a cop?
Não, sou policial.
Nome de policial.
He really isn't. Why are you teasing us? We waste time learning that one of the hitmen killed the other hitman's mother, and that backstory goes nowhere. They actually use the Django Fett approach to assassinations.
The assassin hired an assassin to assassinate somebody and then followed the assassin to supervise the assassination and then
The big baddie says he wants a hole in the protagonist's mouth.
Buraco. Na boca.
The mouth is the hole! I'll give you one thing. The college professor who lost public funding's world building is top-notch. A rare sense of time and place. Dear Brazilians, find a better hill to die on. This one's at best a bump. It's just textbook art house cinema. Slow pace, loose thread, so much symbolism it's begging to be interpreted instead of watched. There's a film that desperately wants to be taken seriously. I liked it, found the images gorgeous. But it wanted the importance of Barry Lyndon, the assassination of Jesse James, while being about a completely mundane fellow. All that stateliness, the narration, the meditative moments of nature, they don't elevate that man, they just make him look smaller. The life full of joy and sorrow of one of the many anonymous men who built the modern American landscape. I appreciate that they took an ambitious approach to such a trivial subject. If you're gonna fail, fail up. What's left? Frankenstein. You have no idea how much I wanted to love that movie. No idea. Visually, it was breathtaking. These sets and costumes are so money and they know it. And I like the cinematography, sue me. But the story was so flat. They actually used the "You're the monster" line.
You are the monster.
I couldn't believe they went so on the nose. When Christoph Waltz said he wanted his brain in the monster, you know what I thought? I thought Victor would do it and we'd find out Waltz used to have a sick relationship with his niece, and she and the monster would fall in love, and Victor would go, that's sick. And I loved how sick it would have been, and he's dead. Maybe he can still... Nope, he can't still. Bugonia. I can't stop thinking of how Jesse Plemons should have started the interrogation claiming he already got other aliens. So he knew for a fact she was one, but then there wouldn't have been a movie. The strategy Stone used to get out made for a good watch, but it's not a film I'd ever think about again if it wasn't for the final montage. Those static shots were amazing! The Roy Andersson influence is evident and welcome. I'd nominate it for Best Director for those minutes alone. And lastly, Sentimental Value. You know, I almost made a video about it, like the Conclave one, because Sentimental Value doesn't work as a drama. There basically is no drama. Characters have strained, troublesome relationships with each other, and these situations don't develop on screen. They don't talk. There's the excuse Nora can't talk to her father, but that's a cop-out.
We can't really talk.
Or it should be a setup to be paid off in a dramatic, life-changing dialogue later on. But it never comes. What happens repeatedly is characters have awkward moments together, they spend time alone thinking, and their development comes through the thinking, not through social interactions.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
There's the beginning of a great scene in the middle, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Nora solves her issues with her father by reading his screenplay. So if she'd had done it from the get-go, there would have been no movie. That's not drama. Basically, Sentimental Value script is easy. There's nothing easier than writing scenes of characters having solitary moments, staring out the window. Dialogue that merely brushes drama instead of getting to the meat of things, like Tennessee Williams and Eugene O'Neill do. Elle Fanning has the best story arc. You actually see how out of place she is in multiple ways. It would have made for a fine Sofia Coppola film. I ultimately gave up on the video because the movie is not that bad. It's actually good in the little it does. There are plenty of not bad movies with minimal drama. And more importantly, it's not winning one screenplay award after another like Enclave was. So it's too small a target. I fish for sharks here. Those are all, right? Oh, F1! It was fun. I didn't really like the story, but I'd gladly watch it again some cloudy Sunday afternoon. How infuriating that the excellent It Was Just an Accident didn't make it into the 10. We took it for granted. We all took it for granted. It was assumed from the beginning of the season it was gonna get into picture and director, and it went nowhere. Its direction, screenplay are extraordinary. I'm sure it was a political choice at Cannes, but how lucky we are this particular political choice just happens to be an amazing movie. I've talked for long enough. Must leave something for the post-Oscar video and the Movie-Wise Awards, of course. Since we're here, I might as well make my Oscar predictions. Nothing crazy, so here they are on screen. I wonder if we're gonna see the tide change to Sinners in the coming weeks, but I doubt they'll lose their chance to stuff PTA with trophies. Thank you for sticking around. Stay tuned for the Best Director analysis. Like and subscribe, Patreon, bye bye.